she going to do online?
Probably.
Is she here?
Yeah, I seen her come in.
No, I know that. Oh gosh. It says live.
Yeah, but we don't have this up here yet, so.
Do you need Ken?
Can anybody check and see?
Monday.
I didn't bring my phone, sorry.
Oh, here.
No.
Debbie, you're checking?
They're all flashing.
They're all flashing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, we're live. We're live.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, very good. All right. I'll call our meeting to order. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday, September 30th. This is an additional commission meeting. We have such a busy schedule this week. Monday is our makeup day, so we'll be meeting today. We'll also be meeting Wednesday morning and also Wednesday evening on the south end of the county. So, busy week for our staff and for the commission. I will open our meeting for any public comment and a subject that's not on the agenda that the commissioner has jurisdiction over. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to our first agenda item. First item on our agenda, Nicole Brown, Community Development Planning Director, Hazeman Boundary Location Number 1. Nicole.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nicole Brown, Broadwater County Community Development Director, here to present to you the Hazeman Boundary Relocation Number 1, excuse me. Number 2 will be coming up shortly. Let's start with number 1. Bob Hazeman is in attendance here today, so if you have questions at the conclusion of my staff report, if there are questions that I'm unable to answer, I will have him come to the podium and do his best to answer your questions. So with that, I would like to begin with the staff report for the Hazeman Boundary Relocation Number 1. This is a staff report to the Broadwater County Commissioners from myself. The date of the staff report was September 11th, and the deadline for the Commissioners to make a decision is October 7th, 2024. The applicants are Robert and Brenda Hazeman of Helena, Montana. Executive summary. The exemption request, as presented to the Broadwater County Commissioners, is a proposal to amend 2 lots utilizing a boundary relocation exemption. The Hazemans are proposing a boundary relocation between 2 parcels owned by the Hazeman Family Living Trust, with Robert Buell Hazeman and Brenda K. Hazeman named as trustees. Currently, the Hazemans own 2 parcels, Tract A and Tract 2A. Tract A is currently 35.92 acres in size, and Tract 2A is 276.19 acres. The parcel identified as Tract A is relocating a boundary with the parcel described as the amended Tract 2A to become amended Tract A. If this exemption is granted, amended Tract A will become 169.38 acres, and amended Tract 2A will become 142.73 acres. Boundary location statutes. Montana Code Annotated 763207-1A provides for divisions made outside of platted subdivisions for the purpose of relocating common boundary lines between adjoining properties. Montana Code Annotated 764103 provides sanitation exemptions for parcels greater than 20 acres in size, exclusive of public roadways, are not subject to Department of Environmental Quality review. Request. The owners of the parcels are requesting approval of the use of the boundary relocation exemption to establish a parcel that contains the farm ground and a parcel that contains the Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program, CREP, ground. The farmed ground is intended to be transferred to the Hazeman Family Partnership. Location. The properties are located off Greaves Road in Section 23, Township 5 North, Range 2 East, due east of the town site of Toston, Montana. Existing development and uses. Commissioners, in this section, I'm going to make an amendment to the document that you have in front of you.
Okay.
And the amendment that was made available publicly. I had a conversation with Mr. Hazeman prior to this meeting, and he clarified some erroneous information. So with that, I'm going to read Section 5, but just know I will be speaking an amendment on this section.
Okay.
Both parcels are currently being utilized for agricultural purposes. Tract 2A has a pivot for irrigation purposes and a portion is in CREP. So that's to clarify that Tract 2A is not in CREP. The CREP ground is currently a portion of Tract 2A.
Okay, so say that again. Track
Yep.
2A. I see
Tract
that.
2A.
That's where the pivot's out.
Has a pivot, correct,
Okay.
for irrigation purposes, and a portion of it is in CREP. So essentially that outer ring
Mm-hmm.
of 2A is in CREP. Previously, my staff report stated that Tract A was in CREP, and that is an incorrect statement.
Okay.
Moving on. Adjacent land use to the north, east, and south are agricultural. To the west is agricultural and the town site of Toston, Montana. Project uses. Wastewater. Both parcels are and will continue to be subject to review and approval from the Environmental Health Office and subject to 1736-9 of the Administrative Rules of Montana, ARM, hereby possibly not mitigating impacts to adjacent properties. No septic systems are installed on either property. Since no parcels nor structures are being proposed, there will be no additional review required by the Broadwater County Environmental Health Officer other to ensure the appropriate sanitation exemptions are cited on the proposed COS. Access. The property is located directly south of Greaves Road, which is a county road. If any structures are to be constructed, they will be required to apply for a county road approach permit, from the Broadwater County Public Works Department. Water. No residential wells are constructed nor being proposed at this time. Public health and safety. The proposed division has minimal potential to have adverse impacts on public health and safety since no new structures are being proposed. Conclusion. Pursuant to 76.32071 MCA, which states, unless the method of disposition is adopted for the purpose of evading this chapter, the following divisions or aggregations of tracts of record of any size, regardless of the resulting size of any lot created by the division or aggregation, are not subdivisions under this chapter, but are subject to the surveying requirements of 76.3401 for divisions or aggregations of land other than subdivision, and are subject to applicable zoning regulations adopted under Title 76, Chapter 2. Subitem A states divisions made outside of platted subdivisions for the purpose of relocating common boundary lines between adjoining properties. No structures are being transferred through this proposed boundary relocation. There's an existing 30-foot wide county road easement along the northern boundary of both of these parcels for the county road, Greaves Road. There is an existing 30-foot wide water line easement crossing a portion of the proposed amended Tract A in two locations. The grant of easement for this water line is recorded in Book 24, page 733 in Broadwater County. There's an existing power line easement, 3,405.53 feet in length, traveling north-south on the amended Tract A. This power line easement has an undescribed width and is recorded in Book 40, page 155 in Broadwater County. Lastly, the Broadwater, Missouri Users Canal bounds amended Tract A along a portion of the western boundary. Since this property will continue to be utilized for agricultural purposes, no undesirable human interactions with the canal are anticipated. And that concludes my report.
Okay. I'm looking for that easement, Nicole, the power line easement on the COS. Is that, am I just missing it?
Let me pull up my map.
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Did you locate it?
Oh, okay. I was looking at the wrong place. Thank you.
My map is a little fuzzy.
Okay, good enough. Thank you. Actually had it marked. All right. A question that we did clarify with our county attorney was about property being transferred from a trust to a partnership. and she said that we were able to do that. So I'm sure you probably checked that out, right?
I have a question, Mr.
Yes.
Chair. This is just for my own knowledge as these things come up, and maybe Mr. Hazeman can answer this question.
You want me to come up?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, please state and spell your name for the record, please.
Sure. It's Robert B. Hazeman. Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, and Hazeman is H-A-S-E-M-A-N.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure I'm going to ask this question the right way, but partnership and a trust, you have two things. I'm assuming that's a tax, tax purposes or estate planning at some level. I was just curious, why put one in a partnership, one in a trust?
Want me to explain that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Because the tax laws are going to change at the end of 2025. The estate exemption is going to go in half unless it's changed. Unless a new bill is passed in Congress in effect. So it's going to go from 26 million down to 13 million. So putting property into a partnership is a convenient way of gifting it to your kids. In my case, it's mostly just my son. But you gift a minority interest. So let's just say you have $1 million that you have worth of land that is in the partnership. And so I gift, let's say, 40% of that to my son in 1 year. And maybe I'd give 50% the next year. I keep the minority interest, but I keep the control. So I have control of the entire partnership for the rest of my life. And then at the end, my son gets control. But by doing this, if you gift $1 million worth of assets, you get to discount it because it's not worth $1 million because the son doesn't have control of it. So in effect, you're gifting, say $600,000. In other words, the IRS will say you've gifted away $600,000, not $1 million. So there's an advantage to doing it, and it's also you can't really do that with a trust as far as gift off a portion of the trust, every year. So in this case, I'm taking the agricultural land, which is a convenient. It's already a farm. I mean, if you go to Farm Service, everything that I'm creating here or changing here is already in a farm. And so it's not like it's part of two pieces,
Right. Thank you for explaining that. I was curious one versus the other.
I would think that there might, because land prices have gone up so much in Broadwater County and everywhere in Montana, that you may have other people that will do the same thing.
Sure.
Because it's a kind of a neat way of doing it.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you for that.
it could go away, definitely. They could change that at some point as well. You would hope they wouldn't, but yeah. Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, so I think part of one of our questions was clarified on the CRP ground. So really, it's just going to include the amended tract is just what's under the pivot. Is that right? I'm sorry. We had the question that Nicole clarified on the CRP ground. So actually, this new boundary relocation will just take in the amount of what's under the pivot. Is that correct?
Everything that's under the pivot would be in one parcel.
In
like
Tract A.
in this case, amended A.
Amended tract A.
And everything in 2A would remain in CREP.
In CRP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That was my question. I wanted to be clear on that. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I guess I do have a question. Go ahead and bring up the map. She's going to put it on the screen, Bob, so that you can see what we're looking at. So this actually came to light when we were doing the Lucifer Street abandonment on the south end for Bill and Marilyn Lane. And actually, I'll just walk up there real quickly to explain what we're doing, what my question is. So this is your current parcel right here. And your boundary. This is Lucifer Street that runs north and south, right? What we noticed is that somebody put a fence on the middle of the right of way.
I did.
Yes. Can you tell us why?
Well, because, I was notified that because of the street abandonment, I had half the street. I mean, I have to go back to my records to see who notified me, but it was somebody from, from the county that notified me that I now got back half the street, and the other half went to the other property, the side of the property owner. So when that happened, I put the fence up.
Well, that fence actually was in place before we did the street abandonment.
I had Bill Lane do it. I paid him to do it.
Okay. So I guess just for the record, the street abandonment is only that parcel south of Ferry Street. It was not the whole length of that piece of property. So let me go up there again. The only portion that you did abandon was right here. This little part here, over here was added to Bill Lane. None of this was in that abandonment.
I can't really answer to that, even though
Okay.
I think when it happened, I think Mr. Smirker was a commissioner, and he didn't. No one objected to that, So it's not like it was pointed out or anything.
Well,
And he lives right next to it.
It creates a small problem because the very last parcel on the end belongs to Broadwater County.
Okay, the parcel.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that limits our access to the property down Lucifer Street.
The canal though is there's a canal there. I mean, my property doesn't, in other words, that fence is on my side of the canal. So
Right.
you'd have to go across the canal, and then you'd have to have a bridge that way.
No, let's go up there and take another look at it. I know this is going to be a little bit confusing.
It is.
So Lucifer Street goes this direction, right? So here is the canal, and here's Broadwater County parcel. So we have no access to it now that we've done that. Or
No, that doesn't-
only partial access.
That doesn't look right. I mean, the fence is on my side of the canal. There's, you hit the fence, and then you go to the canal's right there next to it. In fact, down there isn't even a fence. On the very north end of the property, if there's a fence, it's been there forever, but I don't think there's a fence. Because the fence only goes to where the pivot, or where the water comes out of the canal.
Exactly.
But I mean, that would make it look like it goes all the way, doesn't it?
No, it goes to where your pump station is.
Well, something's weird about that picture because like I said, the canal is not, it's not over, like where there's no houses on my side of the canal. It's like the,
Well, here, take a quick look at this right here.
That might be easier.
Maybe
Yeah.
this is easier. So here's your property. Here's Ferry Street. So there's 1, 2, 3 parcels that would border the existing Lucifer Street and then the county parcel here.
but I know it still shows the canal over here.
Yeah.
Those parcels are not, they're on the other side of the canal.
No, they're not. They're not on the other side of the canal. You go across the bridge right here, and all those parcels go down through here.
You were saying the fence is here?
Yes. And if you go here, you can actually see the old, you can see the,
Okay, you're right,
yeah, you can see the old corner
It's down
post.
here I'm thinking of, because this map doesn't take it
No.
over.
No,
the rest of the way.
no.
Yeah. Here it is definitely,
Right.
it's right along the canal.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can see the old corner post down through there, from the original old fence that was there. And I know that fence has been in there for a while. And so I guess that's one of my questions.
I mean, if it came to it, I mean, you know, the access could be granted, just that there's a road that,
Yeah, the road, the current road's right there, right? Your current access road goes down to your pump station.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then, but, once you get to the pump station, or wherever the pump station is, I can't tell from there.
Right
I mean, then it's, you're beyond it, so I mean, at this point, I suppose it's possible to, you know, that access could be gained that way, but,
Well,
you know,
I mean,
what is the county, is the county just, that's just land that they own?
it is. I mean, it's one of those things, right?
Maybe the county'd sell it to me.
Maybe that's something we can work on. I don't know. We
Yeah.
did it to Bill, for Bill Lane.
I'm sorry.
We did it for Bill Lane right here.
Oh, Bill Lane.
We added on, you know, he asked us to add this half, 35 feet. So there's still 35 feet of county right-of-way through here.
Well, that's the part that I got, right?
Well, no, yes and no. We'd have to look in the records, but I would imagine that the true boundary is the center of the roadway, right? That the county has an easement 35 feet each side of the center line of the road, which, you know, 70 feet of easement down through there for a roadway.
Are you anticipating putting a roadway in or something? Or is
We're
this
not,
something- oh, yeah.
we're not. It's just, it's one of those
Yeah,
things that you,
okay. Right.
that's what the records show, and that's what we need to preserve.
I mean, I could, again, I would never have done anything, except I got a letter that said that now I had half
Okay.
the.
Well, maybe that's where we need to start. If you can find that letter for us, and then we can go
I
from
hope I
there.
can, yeah,
And then
it's
we
been
can,
years.
yeah, then we can go from there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't-
you said the letter's been years?
What's that?
It's been years since you got the letter?
I mean, I think I have a letter. I mean, it's gone back, you know, my memory's not that good enough to remember,
Yeah.
but it could have easily been 10 years ago. You know,
Okay.
and, but, I mean, regardless of that,
Yeah. See, so basically what would happen if we say yes to this, we have just given up that portion of the county's right-of-way.
well, I mean, you know, I mean, I'm not farming that anymore.
I know.
I mean, it's
I
just
know.
like, I mean, if you want to, I'd like to have you, hopefully approve the thing, and then, you know, maybe with that, I mean, if it's something that you could prove to me that was, you know, that I had to give it up, I mean, I would give it up.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think I'm completely innocent as far as
Okay.
what I did, you know, and purely on, you know, out of the blue, I get, you know, get notified. I wouldn't have done that otherwise.
Okay. Well, I think we need to maybe let's just look into it a little bit more and make some determinations. That's all I can say at the moment.
We have, Kaylin Minor, our deputy county attorney, did a public comment,
Okay.
or not public comment,
Yep.
comment. You want to read it? Sure. Here, oops. Speak into this.
Dear Chairman Folkford, can the survey be updated to reflect which lands are in CREP, either in the text on the right side of the survey or typed onto the survey under amended track 2A? Does the county have any questions or concern about the placement of fences on the southern end of the amended A? Kaylin.
Well, you know, I don't know if the track 2A needs to reflect that it's in CRP. I mean, that's a personal decision. If the track 2A needs to reflect that it's in CRP, and that's your personal decision how you want to.
Is it, I'm sorry, I can't seem to hear you.
Our county attorney wants to know if it needs to reflect that this land is in CRP. I don't think that's necessary, because that's your personal decision to farm that however you want to farm
And
it. So,
obviously, it wouldn't be in CRP
yeah,
if
yeah.
it doesn't get renewed.
yeah.
You know,
So,
in
exactly. So that contract could go away. I don't really know if we do that. But there is a question on this fence line right here. I guess maybe it'd be right here.
Daryl, she has another comment.
Yes.
Kay Minor.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Kay.
And next question, street abandonment. Did the proper paperwork get filed with the county to aggregate the land into his acreage pursuant to a street abandonment? Can Mr. Hazeman be educated on the proper procedures?
Yeah.
Galen.
Right. And see, that's what we don't know.
That's
So
what we don't.
we need,
Thank you.
we need to look into the records further to see if there was an abandonment of that portion of Lucifer Street. I don't know if there was or not, so.
You know, I really wish that Bernadette was here, because
Mhm.
obviously,
Yeah.
you know, they've been involved in all of this. I mean,
Right.
you know, he surveyed what we owned, I presume. I mean, that's what he thinks we own anyway.
Yeah.
And, you know, same thing is true, he did the, he may have been involved, I think he was involved with the abandonment of the road too.
Okay. Well, let's get that clarification, just so we know.
You
And-
want me to try to come up with a letter, but I mean, that is.
Yeah.
Can
Mhm.
you talk into the microphone?
Yeah, go ahead and talk into the
Sorry.
microphone, yeah.
Because it's being
I
recorded.
said, I'll look for the letter.
Okay,
But, you know, like I said, I also talked to, you know, Dan and Bernadette, because, you know, obviously, when they did the survey, I didn't want them to survey somebody else's property.
right. And that's what we need to get cleared up,
Yeah.
so.
So will we just check with Angie? Is that the,
Well, if it was abandoned, it should be recorded,
okay.
Yeah.
and, anything else? Everything else looks fine. Everything else looks fine. We just need to get that cleared up there on Lucifer Street, if that was truly abandoned. And if it was, that's fine, we'll move on.
Is there anything else I can do besides, I mean, I can look for the letter, but that doesn't, I mean,
Yeah.
like you say, if it matters,
You may talk with your surveyors, let them do some of that research for you.
Yeah, okay, and then let you know, or let me know,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Yeah,
let Nicole know. Is that who, Nicole?
Work with Nicole if you would, sir.
yeah, let Nicole know.
Okay,
She'll communicate with us. I think is the best.
okay. And then, is that all for this particular one? And then
Yep.
Go on to the next one. Do you want me to stand up, or you circle back?
No, because I think Nicole needs to.
Nicole needs to
introduce the
present it.
next
So
piece.
I guess just for the record,
Yeah.
I think that is our only question, was the right-of-way on Lucifer Street.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, Kay said she could call in if that would be easier, if we would like her to.
Okay.
Would you like her?
Um,
Yeah.
Sure,
Sure.
have her call in.
Commissioner Folkford, while
Our
Commissioner
phones are
Rickmeyer is, and Commissioner Randolph are facilitating that, just for clarification, you commissioners, we are tabling this topic until there is clarification on the status of Lucifer Street North, or
Correct.
the northern portion
Northern
of Lucifer
portion of it,
Street.
yes.
Perfect. So at this time, the clock will have stopped. The 20 working day clock will have stopped until additional information is received.
Okay.
Hello, Ms. Minor.
Hi, folks. Sorry about that. I didn't know I needed to call in, but I just wanted to be able to do more real-time comments for you all. So,
Okay.
Okay,
I
thank you.
apologize.
You're all right. Nicole, do you want to put this one up there? And would you say what you just said one more time so Kay is?
Hey, Nicole Brown. I just wanted to make sure that I was understanding next steps appropriately, in that the commissioners are seeking clarification on the status, of the northern portion of Lucifer Street, and whether or not that road is open, closed, or abandoned. So the 20 working day clock for the county to review this exemption request has now stopped as of today, and will begin back at day one once that necessary information is received.
Chairman Fulford, this is Caitlin Miner, Deputy County Attorney, and I believe that Planning Director Brown has accurately stated our legal status at this point. The clock has stopped, and we need more information until it can be reconsidered, and a new 20-day window is started.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anything else before we move on to number 2?
No, thank you.
No? Okay. Whenever you're ready, Nicole.
All right. Nicole Brown, Broadwater County Community Development Director and Planner, here to present the Hazeman Boundary Relocation number 2 exemption request. I will read the staff report into the record. This is a staff report to the Broadwater County Commissioners from myself. The date of application, of the staff report is September 16th, 2024. The deadline for the Commissioners to make a decision on the exemption request is October 7th, 2024. The applicants are Robert and Brenda Hazeman of Helena, Montana. They are the trustees of the Hazeman Family Living Trust. Executive summary. The exemption request, as presented to the Broadwater County Commissioners, is a proposal to amend 2 lots utilizing a boundary relocation exemption. The Hazemans are proposing a boundary relocation between 2 parcels owned by the Hazeman Family Living Trust, with Robert Buell Hazeman and Brenda K. Hazeman named as trustees. Currently, the Hazemans own 2 parcels, Tract A and Tract B. Tract A is currently 304.8 acres in size, and Tract B is 76.85 acres. The northerly boundary of Tract B is intended to relocate to a more northeasterly, southwesterly line. If this exemption is granted, Tract A will become 289.25 acres, and Tract B will become 92.41 acres.
Ma'am?
Clarifying, yes, you're right, thank you on that. Tract B is actually set to become 95.02 acres, correct? Robert, that's correct. Okay, thank you. Yes, I apologize. I'd received an email from Robert giving that clarifying statement on what the acreage would become.
95 point how many?
95.02 for Tract B.
Okay, so that need to be changed on the COS?
On the COS, that is correct.
Okay.
Boundary relocation statutes. Montana Code Annotated 763207-1A provides for divisions made outside of platted subdivisions for the purpose of relocating common boundary lines between adjoining properties. Montana Code Annotated 764103 provides sanitation exemptions for parcels greater than 20 acres in size, exclusive of public roadways, are not subject to Department of Environmental Quality review. The request. The owners of the parcels are requesting approval of the use of the boundary relocation exemption to establish a parcel that contains the farmed ground and a parcel that contains the Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program, CREP ground. According to the affidavit, the farm ground is intended to be transferred into the Hazeman Family Partnership, though both properties are currently owned by the Hazeman Family Living Trust. Location. The properties are located off State Highway 285 and Smith Lane in Section 22, Township 5 North, Range 2 East, west of the State Highway 285, U.S. Highway 287 intersection, and west of the town site of Toston, Montana. Existing development and uses. Both parcels are currently being utilized for agricultural purposes. Lands in all directions are agricultural. Project uses. For wastewater. Both parcels are and will continue to be subject to review and or approval from the Environmental Health Office and subject to 1736-9 of the Administrative Rules of Montana, hereby possibly not mitigating impacts to adjacent properties. No septic systems are installed on either property. Since no parcels nor structures are being proposed, there will be no additional review required by the Broadwater County Environmental Health Officer other than to ensure the appropriate sanitation exemptions are cited on the proposed COS. Access. The property is located directly north of State Highway 285. Tract A is bordered on the west side by Smith Lane, which is a county road. If any structures are to be constructed, they will be required to apply for a county road approach permit for the Broadwater County Public Works Department the Broadwater County Public Works Department if the intended access is Smith Lane. A state highway approach permit from Montana Department of Transportation will be required if the intended access is State Highway 285. Water. No residential wells are constructed nor being proposed at this time. Public health and safety. The majority of Tract B is within a designated floodplain according to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Flood Insurance Rate Map, FIRM. Conclusion. pursuant to 76.3207(1) MCA, which states, unless the method of disposition is adopted for the purpose of evading this chapter, the following divisions or aggregations of tracts of record of any size, regardless of the resulting size of any lot created by the division or aggregation, are not subdivisions under this chapter, but are subject to the surveying requirements of 76.3401 for divisions or aggregations of land other than subdivision, and are subject to applicable zoning regulations adopted under Title 76, Chapter 2, Sub-Item A, divisions made outside of platted subdivisions for the purpose of relocating common boundary lines between adjoining properties. No structures are being transferred through this proposed boundary relocation. There is an existing 30-foot wide county road easement along the western boundary of Tract A for the county road, Smith Lane. There is an existing 75-foot wide access road and water use easement traveling north from State Highway 285 for approximately 1,000. That's a big number. Should be 1,486 feet through Tract A, just outside of the western boundary of Tract B. There is an existing 60-foot wide access easement branching off of the 75-foot easement and traveling in a northeasterly direction for about 130 feet. This boundary relocation appears to be attempting to encompass all of the irrigated farm ground onto Tract B. According to Mr. Haseman, if the boundary relocation exemption is approved, he intends to transfer Tract B to the Haseman Family Partnership, and Tract A will remain in the name of the Haseman Family Trust for estate planning purposes. So with those 3 corrections, that concludes my staff report. And to clarify, I believe Commissioner Folkford, you asked while I was reading if the COS would need to be amended, and the COS has already been amended. My staff report simply was not.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Any questions from the commission? Comments?
I don't right now.
Commissioner Rickman, anything?
No, sorry, no. I did not have anything else.
I don't have anything else.
That was it. Clear and fairly simple.
Yeah.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve the Haseman boundary relocation number 2
With the 3 corrections.
with the 3 corrections.
Okay.
I will second that motion.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the Haseman boundary location number 2 with the 3 corrections. Those being the acreage changing from 92.41 to 95.02, and that correction has been made on the COS. There was a typo in section 6. It says from county road, and the correction on the last page where the easement is only 1,486 feet. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, commissioners. I will be back
Yeah, you're welcome.
to
Thank you, sir.
present the Haseman boundary location number 1 once I have that clarifying information and you have time to review it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
Kate.
coming and spending time with us this morning, providing the answers we needed. Okay.
No, I think, no. Kay, I don't think we'll need you for the next one.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Okay, well then I will keep watching you all. Thank you so much. Call me if you need me, but I'll be just watching online.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Mr. Haseman.
Okay. No Ruby.
No, Ruby.
All right, well,
Well, now that Kay just hung up, because she just worked on this and
yeah,
went through it. Yes. From the email I saw with Kay, she had read through everything and was happy with the contract. It's really not any different from previous year.
okay. I'm actually looking for like a name for this. Usually they have some kind of designation, right? I guess we'll just read
The contract.
the part of the first contract, so
Yes.
I'll
She
just
said
read it.
it's good.
So what's before the commission is a Rocky Mountain Development Council in Broadwater County homemaker funding. That's what we're looking for right there, the homemaker contract. The number is 2025-004-007. And the purpose of this contract is to develop and maintain a comprehensive and coordinated service delivery system for providing support, nutrition, information, caregiver, and advocacy service to older individuals in accordance with the Older Americans Act and the approved area plan. To foster a maximum dignity and independence for older Montanans, especially those with the greatest social and economic needs, those residing in rural areas, and those who are homebound. To broaden knowledge and understanding of aging and the aging process, explore innovative programs and services for older individuals, and addressing the need for trained personnel in the field of aging by prioritizing education and training of personnel to serve Montana's 60 and older. So I believe this contract amount is for $18,713.
Do you
There is
say
a
18,713? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is a match of $333.
Mr. Chair, may I add a couple comments about the homemaker program?
Yes, you may.
It's definitely, if you are interested in a loved one or yourself getting assistance through the homemaker program, contact our public health office. I do know there is at times a wait list for the service. They can help with things like groceries, light housekeeping, a lot of different things that are really, really kind of crucial to people who have difficulty leaving the house.
Right.
Or even getting around. So
A lot of times this is their only contact if they're homebound. So this is a great program.
Yes.
And I know it's, Ruby stays busy with it, so
yes.
thanks for that.
Commissioner Fogford, there's a comment from Kaylin Minor.
Okay.
Chairman Fulford, the contract was reviewed and updated to include the correct contact information for the county. The contract is legally sufficient. Ruby Taylor and Daleen were instrumental in getting the changes made before this meeting. Kaylin.
All right, thank you, Kaylin, for that. And I do remember that was a discussion, so. The other thing I'd like to try to point out too is the source of funding. So the $17,713 is from the state general fund, and the balance is from federal grants. Okay. Any other comments or questions?
I don't have any.
No? All right, is there a motion?
I would move to approve the contract 2025-004-007 for the homemaker program. And the grant amount is $18,713 with $333 in matching funds.
I will second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve contract number 2025-004-007, also known as our homemaker grant, in the amount of $18,713 and a local match of $333. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I don't have any mail or claims, so I guess if anything else come before the commission? No?
Be back here Wednesday morning.
Okay, we stand adjourned at 10:45.